Sorry, I just thought of the song Blurred Lines. Hey, I'm Faye. I'm an illustrator, I'm an animator, and today I'm going to show you how I made this illustration. They're inspired by some actual teens that I saw at Target a couple days ago. They were super stylish and I was very intimidated by them, so that's what this is. Okay, let's go. This blue line is how I always start out sketches. I mean, I think most people do have like some kind of guide that they always use. Mine specifically are also used to figure out what shape language I'm going to use. So as you can see, like I decided the guy in the background was going to have a triangle head. I wanted to draw like a really wide guy. And I think that's important to like note before you start drawing. You're like, especially in a group of characters, right? I feel like having a lot of different shapes in people can be really fun, especially if these characters, they're just standing, you know, they're not doing anything interesting, no interesting poses. So their bodies need to be interesting shape in the illustration. So I always do like a quick blue line. I don't know why I just do blue, and then hot pink is the next one, just so they stand out from each other. So I lowered the opacity of blue, and then I start drawing what the characters are actually going to look like more in detail in pink. So I knew that I wanted to do a really wide guy and like a really comically short guy. And there were a couple girls. So I saw these kids a couple days ago now, so what they actually looked like in my memory is probably nothing what they actually looked like in the moment. But I did a lot of research and I kind of decided that their outfits looked like these. I'm gonna put references on the screen. So they were all wearing black, which is notable because this is South Florida, so wearing black pretty much ever, like in all black, is just not a smart move. It's really hot here. But that was part of why they were so funny. They were all so stylish and all wearing black. Anyways, so the people that I've shown this illustration to now are confused by this guy's pose like this. I meant for him to be leaning on a shelf, but you can't really, the shelf isn't there, right? So whatever. I still think it's funny. I like to have like a really sharp angle sometimes in people's bodies. I think that can be really funny. Something else about these kids, they were all wearing jewelry, which I think was what kind of made them look so sick, right? Like they all had multiple necklaces, rings going on. So those are details I was going to add afterwards, just in silver and not outline them, so that's why I didn't draw them. But I usually use a brown outline. I'm not really sure why I do this. I just like brown more than black, I think. It gives it like a warmer tone, and sometimes I change it afterwards, just by like locking the layer and coloring in the line art. But so here I chose kind of a watery ink outline, which I think makes it look a little blurry, like it's almost out of focus, which could be a good thing. That was something I didn't notice until I was kind of halfway done drawing like most of them, and I was like, yeah, I just gotta stick to it. I like to do a thing sometimes with line art where I'll duplicate the layer, and then the second one I will put a little blur on it. So I would usually do that. In this piece, I think I ended up not doing that just because the line I chose was already so blurry. And with blurred lines, I think people... Sorry, I just thought of the song Blurred Lines. But with blurry lines, I think sometimes people think that it doesn't look intentional. So that's something to keep in mind, I guess. That's what I thought of when I was working on this. I'm so bad at talking without editing. So from the references, I think most of them have to be wearing some kind of like striped undershirt. I know that's kind of like you know, a stereotype, right, of the e-boy outfit, but I think it's really funny, and I know that at least one of them in real life was wearing them, so I decided like multiple undershirt situations would be going on. Anyways, so for the girls, what I remember about them, one of them was wearing a super big sweatshirt, and she was wearing like a tiny little skirt under it, which I thought was like strangely cute. I've never thought that would be a good outfit just because the sweatshirt itself is kind of a dress already, but I thought that was fun, so I kept her outfit pretty true to the way she looked in real life, I think. And the girl in the back, I gave her the kind of two-streaked bleach situation that a lot of girls have right now. Okay, so this is the coloring phase. The way that I color is that I duplicate the line art and then put it underneath the line art, and then I can just color drop into it, which is something that works most of the time as long as you don't care that that kind of darkens the original outline, because now you have like multiple layers of the same outline. So something to keep in mind, but I think it's worth it just because it's so nice to just drop the color in. But yeah, so coloring skin tone, one of my passions. So I like to give every single character a unique skin tone. So the girl who had the dyed hair, I remember she was super pale, so I started with her. Let's see. The girl in the way back, I remember that she had a ton of blush on. Like, you know, she was the only one who kind of had that like soft aesthetic going on, where she was like super sparkly, super pink and blushed. So I gave her red blush across the nose. And yeah, so this is something I would usually never do in an illustration, which is give characters standing close together all the same color in their outfit. I really like variance, you know, and I like people to stand out from each other. But this is a rare case where they were based on real people, and those real people were all wearing black next to each other, and that was kind of what made them so funny, you know? So I broke my usual rule, and I gave them all black outfits. I kind of did some offsets of blue and green black, so that they're not all the exact same black, but I think you could only tell that if you're like really looking closely at this illustration. So then I did a passive light and a passive shadow, which I think actually were not necessary for this. I sort of like this illustration just as a flat color, so I'll show like a comparison of all of them. But yeah, I really liked this neon green, but I saw them just at like, not even like in the produce part of Target, I just saw them near like the self-checkout, so there wasn't actual dramatic lighting on them, and I feel like it wasn't worth it to do it. But I was experimenting with it here, so you can kind of see. I don't know, I'm still trying to figure out exactly what my illustration style is when it comes to lighting, so every piece I do is a little bit different. But yeah, here's the final product. Whoever you guys were, you were super cool, and I was a little scared of you, but now you're immortalized forever, so